Hello everybody and welcome back to my channel. I hope you're doing very well. So today I'm here to do a full face of makeup of my current favourite high street makeup. So yeah, you guys know I like to wear a lot of makeup, I like to buy a lot of makeup, and especially liking the cheaper version of makeup as well. So I thought I would just give like an update as to like my current favourites that are kind of on the cheap side and are really worth the money, to be honest. I have, maybe one product that is on the cusp of high street. It's probably me being a bit cheeky, but I'll talk about it when I get there. So the first thing I'll talk about is a primer, and of course this product I've used to death on my channel, and it's the e.l.f. Putty Primer. But what I really like is this brush. It sounds really stupid, but this applicator is specifically made for these kind of putty primers. So this is the poreless putty primer, and I've used it so many times, so I'm trying to get like a good lighting on it. But yeah, this one I've had for ages, and the applicator I've only kind of recently purchased. I think it's been maybe a month now that I got it. But on one side you have the applicator, and then on the other side you have the brush. And I think for me, I have mentioned this so many times, when I use primers now, I don't like to use my finger as much. I like to use a brush. So I feel like this kind of invention is perfect for me, and it will scoop out the kind of right amount. I'm not the biggest fan as to how much it like dents like it dents in the product. It makes me feel quite uneasy. I don't know if that's just me being strange or have like some weird OCD about it, but I like to just use the kind of flat brushes that you would use for kind of foundation brushes. But ever since I kind of discovered that this was on the e.l.f. website, I was like, you know what, this is perfect. So it's really nice and soft. I mean, when you like bouncing it on your face, it's a little bit kind of edgy, like it's got a little bit of a kind of prickly feel to it, but it's not painful. It's just kind of a bit like, oh, you can feel it's there. But it honestly helped distributes the primer so much. And even though the spoolie sometimes might pick up a bit too much product, you can still just blend it in, and it will really help kind of just prep the skin for a nice foundation. So this brush I believe was £6, and I know that's probably a bit much for a brush, but I feel like if you are using something like a putty primer or just something that is a bit more softening, I would highly recommend using a brush like that. So let's go on to foundation, and I'm using the Maybelline 30 hour kind of, what's it called, Super Stay active wear. Again, I've used this a handful of times, but each time I use it I still really enjoy it. I believe you can pick it up for £10 or £10.99 in Superdrug or Boots, and a lot of these products you can pick up in those two places, because essentially when you think of like high street, or when you think of like kind of the places to go for these cheaper type of brands, those two are for me are always like the perfect places to go. If you do live not in the UK, you probably won't have Superdrug or Boots, but essentially they are what people call drugstore, and we just call them like high street places. I guess I don't know if you would call like what we kind of call them, but you know, they essentially just have makeup, and then they have like healthcare and skincare and just normal type of like daily living stuff. But when it comes to this foundation, I'm just rambling on about what high street is, but yeah, this foundation, again, I have not tried it for 30 hours. I have no intention for trying it for 30 hours. I don't think anyone should try a foundation for 30 hours because you know, sleeping with makeup is not highly recommended. I mean, it's not good for your skin. Your skin needs to kind of like breathe once in a while. And I feel like obviously with foundations there's a lot of restriction, because you're covering up pores and you're covering up but your skin in general with just layers and layers upon, like with liquid, and also like powders as well to like lock everything in. And I understand the fact that they would want foundations to last a long time, but would you really want to wear a foundation for 30 hours? Like honestly, what is the purpose? I would say, oh, if you're doing like a 12-hour shift or you're doing this and that, okay, that's totally fine. But if you're what are you doing for 30 hours? Like if I could sleep for 30 hours, 100%, but wearing makeup, not really for me. But the feeling of this foundation is really nice. It's got a nice coverage on it. Is it full coverage? I don't think it is full coverage. It's meant to be. Oh, it is full coverage. So for me, it's perfect. As you saw, I do have very pigmented skin, so I need something to cover it up, and the foundation is really nice. It sets in so nicely, and then to go on top of that, I use a concealer, which is the Eye Bright Concealer by Revolution, and I've used this to death, and I am constantly using it, and it's got like this little dial thing, so it just shows you how much I use. And it is a dupe for the Charlotte Tilbury concealer. Not that I have tried that, because I'm pretty sure that's like 50 pounds, and for me that's just, yeah, that's not happening. So I thought, you know, I really want to try this, and especially when it comes to Revolution, I just love their products. They do have a vast amount of products. Like sometimes it gets a little bit ridiculous where they're like, oh, today we're releasing another eyeshadow palette, we're releasing another, you know, foundation and stuff. And of course brands need to keep on adding new products and stuff, but you know, when you're trying to, you know, test something new and then something else new comes out. I mean, I don't think they've had the last kind of big launch that they had was XX Revolution, and a lot of their stuff was okay for me, like not the best, but it still kind of worked really nicely, and it was on a higher price point, where this will go in their kind of main section of Revolution, because they have Revolution Pro and they have I Heart Revolution and they have Makeup Obsession, and you know, they just have an endless amount of, you know, little companies and products. But when it comes to something like this is in the shade Porcelain. I like the fact that they have a big selection of shades. As you can see, it's made my under eyes look much brighter, so that's quite nice. That's kind of what I need. It just, you know, nothing's going to help the bumps in my face because that's just acne. But when it comes to covering red, you can see looks pretty good. So I'm going to use a powder now, and this is, yeah, it's a powder that I don't shut up about, but it's my Revolution Brick powder, and this is part of my Project Pan. So as you can see, I've hit pan and I'm getting quite closer to the end. Of course, it's just the sides that need to be used up the most, but I'm pretty sure this will be over. It'll be over soon, and I can add a new product to my Project Pan. I'm still considering what to add because everything else is doing okay when it comes to my Project Pan. This one is going to be completed first because, like I said when I did the initial video, these powders will be done so much quicker, and I might add another face powder or something, I don't know. I'll see how it goes, but just because I don't want to use maybe another eyeshadow palette or something I know that will take me a very long time to finish, and I know the point is to constantly use them, but I get really bored using the same product again and again. But the whole point for me doing a Project Pan is to edge myself to use these products a bit more, and I am doing that, especially when it comes to this powder. Anytime I need to use a powder, I just use that. If I need to use a lip liner, I'll use my KVD vegan one. Just kind of, I have a full face, so I know I'm always constantly grabbing. But what I like about this, it's matte and it settles into my skin so nicely. It doesn't crease on me like I've mentioned so many times. That's why I do keep on repurchasing it. And I think now, because I think Revolution may be trying to get rid of it, they're reducing its price, and that's okay because I'll just pick up another kind of cheaper face powder that will just work nice for me. So let's go on to blush, and I'm going in with another e.l.f. product, and no surprise, it's the e.l.f. Putty Primer. No, it's not. It's the e.l.f. Putty Blush. I say the primer way too many times, but again, this is like one of my favourite products recently, and I've recommended it to people, and I'm like, you know what, this is only £5. It is gorgeous on the skin. For me personally, I tend to use a sponge. You can use the end of like a bristle brush, but I need to put this in the wash anyway, so I might as well just use the kind of sponge that I use. And I do take quite a fair amount because you guys know I like to wear a blush, a blush and a half. For someone who is extremely pigmented in, like, you know, her face, my face is obviously very red. I like to use blush, but I don't care. Because to be honest, there's a difference between having rosacea and having a rosy cheek for a blush, because, you know, I'm wearing foundation and I'm wearing, you know, makeup. I'm not gonna just use my rosacea as a blush. You know, and the only reason I don't like rosacea is because it affects my skin. That's pretty much the only reason. But when it comes to this blush, I just adore this blush. It just glows so well, and I want to try and I'm going to see if I can use a brush. Should I use this? Let me see. I might completely ruin this, but we'll just put it in the wash and see how it goes. So yeah, I'm just picking it up just slightly, and it's got such a nice kind of like soft glow. I have been putting way too much on, so I might have to stop. But again, I like to look like I've been outside in the cold for hours and I'm just kind of cooling down. So, you know, getting a nice kind of red cheek is what I want. But you can, yeah, this is just nice. It's just, yeah, it just makes me happy. So weird. A blush makes me happy. Let's go on to highlighter. So we're going in with the Makeup Obsession Mega Honey Highlighter. I would like to have used my Steph Tom's over highlighter, but that is definitely not high street. This is only £5 and that is £27. So you know, if I ever do like my favorite high-end makeup, I would use that, because obviously that highlighter is amazing. But this is a nice kind of substitute for those higher end kind of products, because obviously Ofra is quite high end, whereas Makeup Obsession / Revolution is not, and it's got just a gorgeous glow. I know the lighting is not the best, my camera is not the best, but if you're looking for a highlighter that will make you kind of pop a bit and make you just glow, this is definitely up there. And again, you can pick this up in Boots. It's only £4-5. So, and I definitely, it's going to last me ages because of that massive kind of bump on top. It just will go down so slowly. Let's go on to eyes now, one of my favorite things ever. I'm going on to primer. So this is not like an elf sponsored video or anything to do with them, but I just really love their products. And this is the Putty Primer. I got it right. This again can be a little bit drying, but if you're using either your finger or you're using a brush to put it on, I would definitely recommend doing it. It's £5. Pick it up in Boots, anywhere. They have a selection of shades. So if you obviously don't want it to be lighter, or if you don't want it to be completely white, because they do have a solid white primer, then pick up like the different shades. I don't know what shade this is, because when in the packet only tells you, it doesn't tell you on the actual product itself, which is a bit annoying. But you know, just whatever matches your kind of skin tone, or if you just want a white primer, it will work. And yeah, that's really cute. Again, this one, you don't need to like set it down, you don't need to like wait for it to dry down, because it's already set. So let's go on to the eyes palette. And this is the product that I said I was going to be quite cheeky about, because it's a Morphe product. It's the new Painted Desert. I did a review on it, I think it must have been about a week ago, where I just kind of like first impressions on it. And you can pick this up. Morphe have their own stores, and this is £12. I like to think of this as kind of a more drugstore type of product. You can't pick it up in Boots or Superdrug. Actually, I think Boots online do Morphe, and places like Selfridges do it, and also I think Cult Beauty as well, they do Morphe. So I wanted to add it in there, and because I'm obsessed with this palette. It's just so gorgeous. I love me I go through phases of using either very colourful eyeshadow or going quite nude, and it's got a red in there. That red is so beautiful. I love it. So I wanted to use this today. I think I've thrown away, oh no, so what I remembered was that the names were on the back. I was like, where's the name sheet? It's gone, but it's still here. I think I might peel off the mirror, because I haven't actually done that yet. Oh, there we go. It's got like a little, if anyone wanted some ASMR. I hate ASMR so much. But yeah, you got like a little cute mirror, and it's £12. So that's why I felt a bit cheeky to add it into this. And honestly, it's worth it. It's £9, and you get a gorgeous selection of shades, and I really like Morphe shades. So that's why I picked it up. So I'm gonna try and not do the same look as I did last time, even though I freaking loved it. So I'm gonna go in with the middle shade, because why not, which is High Temp. And that was a shade that I did use last time. But with last time, I didn't use a primer. So I'm going to see what this looks like without a primer and see if it makes any difference whatsoever, because unfortunately I've only tried it once because I haven't really had a chance to use it. But the reason that I chose it was because I had wanted it for so long, and it was just an absolutely gorgeous palette that I wanted to try. And yeah, I was very happy when I purchased it. And again, £12, absolute bargain. Pigmentation, yes. Morphe, I mentioned in that review video, I have always been very hit and miss when it comes to their kind of shades and their selection with shades. But honestly, I haven't had any issues with this palette. And I have a few other palettes as well. One of their palettes, I think it's like a rose palette. It's just nothing. It just doesn't work as a palette. I'm going to go next with... let's go in with this dark one actually, which is called Vista, what am I talking about? It's been a long day. I've had a long day at work. I've had a long week. My God, I'm so happy that the weekend's here. I am blessed to not be working on the weekend. So anyway, yeah, this palette, like I said, Morphe can be very hit and miss when it comes to certain palettes, but you know, majority of the time they're pretty good. So this shade is pretty nice. I haven't tried this one before, so it's nice. I've got a nice angled brush that I actually got from Primark, so I can't wait for Primark to open again because they do some really nice brushes. And I'm pretty sure this brush was only £1, so that was good. Okay, so far we're looking good. I'm going to clean it up in a minute because I know that I can be very messy when it comes to using eyeshadows and stuff. So I'm just going to clean it out with a clean brush. Ugh. Try not to ruin this. Okay. Great. So now let's go in with this shade just here. This is called Bucket List. And I'm just going to add that kind of in the kind of middle, just to make it a bit more blended together. And then I'm going to add a shimmer, because no matter how many kind of looks I do, I always end up using a shimmer at the end, because why not? And that's a nice shade. Okay, perfect. So now I'm going to use the shimmer that I didn't use. So there's two shimmers in this no, there's three, sorry, and there's these other two. So I'm going to use this one today, which is called Overlook. And I'm gonna get some type of brush to use. I'm gonna use, I'll pick that up later. I am going to use this one. This is not recommended for like shimmers, but it's the only one that I have right now. So I'm just gonna add that in the middle. Ooh, you can see that is pretty damn cute. It's a nice darker shade, so it will show up easier on my skin. Wow, that's good. And even though there's so many palettes out there that are even twice the price by bigger brands, some of them are still pretty bad. But sometimes I just feel that high street makeup is always going to be far superior. As much as I would maybe love to afford the expensive makeup, I just don't want to justify spending maybe £45 on a palette that's got 4 shades. You know, they exist and I'm just not for it. So I'm happy to spend £12 on a 9 pan, and I'm happy to spend £3 on a 4 pan, because those elf ones are freaking amazing. So yeah, that is this palette. I really recommend picking it up, especially because they have a big selection of other colors as well that you can try. So let's go on to an eyeliner, because I thought let's try an eyeliner today. So I'm going in with my Collection Extreme eyeliner. So we're just going to quickly do a little wing, and this one I used in my last video, which was the Collection Full Face of Collection makeup, because this eyeliner is freaking great, because it's just a great nib. Basically, it's a nice solid kind of brush. And am I going off camera? Sorry. I'm just like deterring away. And then brilliant. So now, great. So now what I'm going to do, actually, oh my god, I'm dropping everything. I'm so sorry. I'm actually going to do a mascara and my lips off camera, because we're way into like 20 minutes of the video. So I'm going to be using my e.l.f. Flash It Loud, and then I'm going to be using one of my liquid lipsticks from Body Crop. So I'll be back. Okay, so my mascara, obviously I've used it so many times you can never see a mascara on me, you can tell the difference. But when it comes to the lips, I absolutely love Body Crop. I'm not just saying that because I do have an affiliate code with them, which you can check out in the description, but because these are just really nice and comfortable. They're the Girl Power liquid lipstick. This is in the shade Date Night, so this is a really nice nude along with my eyes, so it's a really nice match. They do like a big selection of shades and eyeshadow palettes that I love to death. You can pick them up in Superdrug as well, but I really want to try more of these shades. They're so gorgeous. But yeah, this is my full face of my current favorite high street makeup. Let me know what you think. Let me know what your favorite high street product is at the moment, or do you prefer high end? I don't, you know, if you want to spend all that money, you go for it. But you know, high street have some really good products. But yeah, thank you so much for watching. I hope you have enjoyed the video. Don't forget to like and subscribe, because I film and upload every time I get a chance to. Don't forget to follow me on my social media, because I'm always active on there. But yeah, hope you're doing well. Hope you're healthy, happy and safe. And I'll see you in the next one. Goodbye.